Hey guys, it's Spacer Sims, and we are back with more Butterflies Poison, continuing Hideo's route. Got a lot of content in the last one that was specific to Hideo. We did a lot of skipping, obviously, because, the beginning, there's a lot of skipping. But anyway, we're going to start skipping again, because we just talked about going to the tiger meat party. We're going to go to the tiger meat party, so this is on the day of the dinner party, and we're skipping this shit! So there's Shiba talking to Kyoko. Everyone's going to get sick. But I'm going to assume maybe this is here you go. So it's in a little interim. I'm like, we've got to have a little moment where we see Hideo's fiance. After arriving at the hotel, Spacey can't stop herself from casually scanning her surroundings, even during the meal. She's observed all nooks and crannies, but she still can't find him. Hideo, it doesn't look like he's coming to the party. Is the information I got from Shiba false? Or did he run into an accident of some sort? Spacey suddenly begins to feel uneasy. It's true that she hasn't seen Hideo in a while. Has he come down with some kind of illness since the last time they saw each other? Or he didn't come to the party with his fiancée because he doesn't want to be engaged to this woman? So remember when we were like, oh, but if he shows up with her, it's like announcing that they're engaged, and like that's problematic, but now he's not here, so that should be a good sign. Unfortunately, he isn't here to alleviate her worries. Miss Maisie, we should get ready to go home soon. Huh? We have no reason to stay around. The people around us are all talking about how to make quick money. It's a topic that has nothing to do with us. Mizuhito whispers from a seat next to her. Her brother's right. They do feel sort of out of place here. There's evidently no reason for them to stay after they've finished their food. But Spacey's still worried about Hideo. And yet she can't bring herself to be open about it with her brother. The impatience irritates her to no end. Oh, you're both getting ready to go home. Shiba, who's been sitting a little ways from them, approaches. Spacey throws a light glare his way. Did Shiba purposefully share false information with her just to lure her into attending the party? I wouldn't put it past him. He meets her eyes and flashes her a triumphant smile as if he's completely decoded Spacey's train of thought. Devious. I may or may not have seen Hideo here. What? Hideo? I didn't know he was also invited. He was, but if I recall correctly, he was only here to greet the people of the Amami family. I think he went home already. But why? I don't know. Didn't exchange a single word with him, so... But I think the lady he came here wasn't feeling well. Maybe they decided to go home because of her. Oh, I see. He came here with a woman. Mizuhito looks mad about this. Mizuhito says, looking suspicious. Apparently, her brother's just as clueless about Hideo's engagement as she was. I don't think I've ever seen or heard Hideo come to a party accompanied by a woman. Is the world coming to an end? Oh? Master, haven't you heard? About what? Brother, Hideo has a fiancée. Oh. Well, this is the first I've heard of it. Mizuhito raises an eyebrow with his lips slightly parted in surprise. I suppose he is old enough to get married, but I would have expected the news to reach my household sooner. Cut him some slack, Master. I bet he and his fiancée have a lot to consider. Maybe. But still, Hideo has a fiancée. A faint smile makes its way to Mizuhito's face, but none of them can guess what he's thinking. Shiba opens his mouth then to say something, but a plump man appears from behind him and calls out to him with a thick voice. Whoa, whoa, whoa! If it isn't the highly rumored Shiba! Hello there. Pleased to see you again. It's been too long. No, the pleasure's mine. I heard your business has been flourishing. Please, you flatter me. The public may be prattling on and on about the limitation of armament shenanigans, but I know we all want another war to break out because that's when we make profits. Well, I asked around, and apparently the Great War has taught Japan the intensity of Europe's military prowess, and Japan's impatient to catch up. I bet troops will be sent to Russia soon. And also, I was like, thank God there was going to ... I'm like, do we have to be here for this conversation? I'm going to check out of this game. The two men have completely ignored her and her brother, too absorbed in their discussion about making money by taking advantage of wars, which is kind of fucked up. Mizuhito watches them with frigid eyes and scoffs. What a bunch of filthy men. Brother, just think about it. Soldiers like Hideo must be ready to sacrifice themselves when the next war breaks out. And here are pigs who only care about fattening their wallets through a crisis. They're beyond disgusting. He's not wrong. Great War's almost over, isn't it? So why are they talking about Japan sending troops to Russia? You don't have to concern yourself about that. And this isn't something that should stay on the mind of a young lady. We don't have to stay here any longer. Now come on, let's go home, Spacey. Right. Spacey obediently listens to her brother and stands up. Like, I mean, you've got to think about it like, oh, we're going to make money. A bunch of people are going to die, but I'm going to get rich. That's some fucked up shit. Although she's interested in all this army talk that Shiba's discussing, Hideo isn't here, and that's enough reason for her to want to go home. She feels like she's been fooled. Is Hideo's fiancée a sickly woman? She went home with him without even staying for the meal, after all. I wonder if Hideo does prefer weaker ladies. She supposes Hideo's fiancé is surely her opposite. Spacey was such a tomboy that she'd climb a tree without waiting for Hideo to catch up to her. Feeling put out, she follows her brother to bid the ladies their farewell, and out of the hall. She follows her brother to bid the ladies their farewell and out of the hall. That's just the weirdest sentence, but I think Shiba was bullshitting us when he's like, oh yeah, he came and the lady he was with wasn't feeling well. I think he's fucking bullshitting. Just to fuck with us. The tragic flavor of the tiger meat still coats her tongue, a similar rottenness to what's eating at her heart. I think it's so funny that, like, the tiger meat's gone rotten, but we're still gonna cook it anyway. Gross. Just when they're about to get in the car after exiting the hotel. Hey, Spacey. What? Was that Hideo's voice? She can't believe her ears. When she turns around, she spots Hideo running out of the hotel towards her. So he was there. Shiba wasn't lying? Hideo. Are you leaving? Yes, I am. I was actually going to get in the car when you called me. Oh. Hideo looks down at his feet. Hideo's sudden appearance has startled Mizuhito as well. Hideo! Why are you still here? I heard you already left the party. No, I just took my female companion to her room to rest because she wasn't feeling well. I see. So you never entirely left the hotel. Mizuhito's look at his face is like, oh, you went up to rest? Wink, wink. Not everyone's like you, whore boy. Simmer down. I love our brother. Yes, we called a doctor and decided that she should stay the night in this hotel. Sure you should leave her alone, Hideo? I've decided to go home. Obviously, I'm not going to spend the same night in the I'm not going to spend the night in the same room as her. But this female companion of yours is your fiancée, right? She is, which is all the more reason why we can't spend the night together, because we're not married yet. Oh, Hideo. How many of our boyfriends have we spent the night with before we got? Oh, all of them so far. It's only been 2, but still. Hideo says, sounding slightly pissed at having to explain his decision. I like how proper he is. Mizuhito shrugs lightly and shifts his gaze from Spacey to Hideo, and back to Spacey. So, what are you going to do? What? Hideo called you to stop you from leaving. Maybe he wants to talk to you. Our brother is like, trying to hook a girl up. I like it. Oh, no, Hideo's eyes wander restlessly and he purses his lips. I didn't know you were going home. I mean, we don't have to talk now. Okay. Mizuhito responds to Hideo's answer in an unamused tone. So long then. Come on, let's get going, Spacey. Oh, wait, brother. When her brother pulls her hand, she surprises herself by planting her feet on the ground. Can I have a moment? I want to talk to Hideo, just for a bit. What? You're not leaving. I am, in a little while. I'll ask Hideo to drive me home, so I'll be fine. Hideo doesn't say anything to deny or confirm her explanation. Mizuhito tilts his head, staring silently at the two of them. Eventually, he breathes out a small sigh. Fine. Just don't stay out too late. Of course, I understand. I'm sorry for intruding. Don't be. I think Spacey came to this party to find you, after all. Our brother absolutely was like, I shouldn't say it, but I'm gonna. See you later then. Be careful. Hideo's just shocked look. Her brother's words nail Spacey to her spot, and she stands there in silence, disbelieving. Her brother's seen right through her. Since when? Hey, Spacey. Huh? Oh, sorry for ignoring you. She's been standing next to Hideo in a daze. Her brother's speculation must have greatly shocked her. She turns to see Hideo watching her face intently. Is it true that you came here to find me? Well, not to find out more about my fiancé? Sure, there is that too. Huh. Why am I not surprised? Look at that smirky little grin of his, it's so hot. Hideo scoffs and turns away, I love it. Silence fills the air between them for a beat, but when Spacey's with Hideo, the lack of spoken words doesn't torment her. The town of Ginza's lively at night. How do they look in the eyes of those who are walking through the town right now? Let's go for a walk. We can't go back inside. Yes, I know. Hideo's fiancé's inside the hotel. Things will get complicated quickly if she misunderstands Spacey's relationship with Hideo. But maybe that's what we want. The two of them begin to walk at the same time. They saw each other only a few days ago, but feels like she hasn't seen him in quite a long time. Aww! Look at our little CG. I love it. His eyes are like glowing. Walking slowly side by side, Spacey looks up at Hideo. Is your companion ill? No. She was just too scared under the hall after seeing the taxidermy tigers. What? That's, new, I suppose. A difficult reason for Spacey to sympathize with. Are there really people who feel sick just by looking at taxidermy animals? I mean, normally you might be like, oh, that poor animal, but you're not like, oh, the pain! Like, that's a little much. I mean, unless you walked around a corner and there's a taxidermy tiger right in your face, that might scare the shit out of you, but that's like a, surprise. You know what I mean? She must be a young woman who's led a pretty sheltered life. We're throwing shade at this bitch. I heard she was bitten by a dog when she was a child, so she's apparently developed a fear of animal fangs. Oh, I see. She must have it tough then, because it means she faints every time she comes across a stray dog. And do you think a young lady like her goes to places where she could potentially run into stray dogs? Yes. She walks to and from school, I'm sure she's bound to come across a stray or two. And she has a car taking her to places. I'm pretty sure the only time she has to use her feet is when she dances. Spacey ruminates over Hideo's words in silent surprise. It's ridiculously pretty in the CG. Back when she was still in school, she only knew a handful of students who led the same kind of lifestyle as Hideo's fiancé. His fiancée must be the daughter of a man whose peer rank is higher than a marquis or an extremely wealthy man. No matter how high someone's nobility rank is, it's not the antiquated Edo period anymore. Nowadays, there's hardly anyone who doesn't walk on their own 2 feet places. Even though a younger girl is a driver who follows her around, it's not weird for her to sometimes walk on her own to a nearby tea house with her friends after school. Based on Hideo's explanation, however, it doesn't seem like his fiancée does those kinds of things. Is she from a family with fairly old customs? If she is, then she might just be the perfect partner for Hideo, given that he has a serious personality. It's amazing. She must be from a very reputable family. Seems like it. At least she's well behaved, unlike a certain someone. I'm grateful for that. Lies. Lies. He needs to stop being so hot in this. Every time I look up, I'm like, God damn, stop it. Looks so good right now. What? What's that supposed to mean? Her face is like, ah! Oh, look at him smiling and oh, stop it, he's precious. I wish you could have seen your face. Compared to you, it's like she has a Noah mask on all the time. She isn't very expressive. Really? But that means she'll be the ideal wife. I'm sure of it. Now he's frowning. Why? A woman must live by the 3 obediences, remember? According to the teaching, a woman must obey her father as his child, obey her husband as his wife, and obey her children when she's old. God damn, your children don't obey you, you just obey everybody. That sucks. I'm mad. The perfect girl is modest and reserved. She's always quiet and she doesn't express her own opinions. Or so I've been taught. I bet you weren't fond of those concepts, though. Clearly. The teachers at my school and the people in my household would always tell me to behave, and I just can't. This is who I am. I appreciate us so much instead of being like, I hate like Kyoko was like, I didn't want to have kids, but I had to. And like Kyoko is like that woman who did the things she's supposed to do, even though but that's why she's pimping out people on the side, because like that's her rebellion underneath. Like on the surface, I'm the perfect wife and I do this and I had kids, but I hate everything and I'm going to burn everyone down. And like then she's doing all this shady shit, but she's got this perfect woman mask on, you know what I mean? But underneath it's like she's running that fucking speakeasy. She's like running a speakeasy during prohibition, like, nope, yep, alcohol's illegal. Everybody come to my bar. Let's go. You know what I mean? And meanwhile, we're over here like, I can't do this shit. I don't know. I'm not even going to try. And I vibe with this when it's like, you have to be, I can't. Look, sometimes you can put on a mask. You're like, okay, I can be polite to people. But sometimes you're like, you know what? I just can't. Putting on masks and being fake is annoying. That's why this channel is the way it is. I tried, man. I tried in the very beginning when I started my sim stuff, like, hi, okay, we're doing tour guide Spacey. We're gonna do stuff and we're gonna be polite. And, oh, golly gee. And now I'm like, what the fuck? Because this is just who I am. So, like, I'm not putting on any pretenses, okay? I'm not gonna bullshit you with, like, fake crap. No. This is who I am, damn it. So, like, I vibe with this chick. I'm vibing with other Spacey over here who's like, I can't. This is stupid. Obey my father. I mean, yeah, sure, because you should listen to your parents and obey your parents. I mean, okay, within reason. So, like, fine. But then I gotta do what my husband says. What the hell? We're equals. You don't own me. And then I gotta give birth to these little motherfuckers, and then they're gonna tell me what to do later? I don't think so. Nah. Not having that. I like it. I agree. I mean, when have I ever seen you act docile? Never is the answer. Then again, I think you've been pretty reserved lately. You've been cooped up in the manor. That would be because I haven't been feeling as energetic. Right. I guess that makes sense. Both Hideo and Spacey fall into silence. Come to think of it, she used to be such a tomboy. She muses as if the fact has just resurfaced in her mind after years of slumber. It's funny because we've only mentioned it like 13 times so far. In this part alone. Not this part, but like in Hideo's route. We've mentioned the tomboy thing at least 5 times. Probably 3 now, but still. In fact, she tried to jump down from the balcony before the evening parties started that day. That too. We forgot about that, but sure, Majima interrupted her plan, but the fact remains that she's always been this way. So recently. It's just as Hideo said, she's not as outgoing as she once was. Her father's death, her mother's illness, and an abrupt marriage proposal from a nouveau riche man. Those days when she could be a little rambunctious girl are long gone. Right now, her skull feels like it's nearly splitting from all the thoughts about what she should do with her life. You're strong. What? Hideo mutters. Mizuhito, well, he hasn't changed much. But honestly, if I were in your shoes, if things happened to my family and messed it up, I'd probably be like him, drowning in desperation. I highly doubt that, Hideo. An unbidden smile reaches Spacey's lips. First of all, her brother's habit of indulging in carnal pleasures isn't a manifestation of his desperation. It's simply a habit of his. You're not that kind of person. You wouldn't develop the same habit that my brother has. I'm not so sure. I don't know what you think of me, but I'm not as strong as you think I am. We had a similar conversation before. Her mind takes her back to the conversation she had with him in front of the manor after they left Seoken. At that time, Hideo returned Spacey's question, urging her to answer what she thought would have happened if they got married. When she answered that they would have been happy, Hideo was cynical about it. You asked me to explain how well I know you, and you went on to say that I barely know you, Hideo. Yeah? I did. I think you're you, Hideo. All this time, and I don't think we've changed that much. What? I know we don't spend time together as much as we used to, but when we talk like this, I feel that we haven't changed at all. I do feel you've been treating me coldly, Hideo, but you're still as kind-hearted as I remember. You wouldn't be here talking to me if you didn't care about me. I know you still worry about me. I I'm not worried about you, and I most certainly don't care. That is absolutely the line of the man who is 100% worried about us and loves us to death and can't handle it. I am sorry, right there. That's bullshit, sir. Really? Why did you chase after me then? Why did you agree to be here to have this conversation? I like how she's not like phased by it. Like in most other games, what? But I'm confused because I feel like he does, but I take his word, and they're very confused about it. And she's like, bullshit. Like, you may not mean much. Oh, you may not mean much in these actions, and I find solace in them. Oh, okay. You may not mean. Okay, never mind. That just didn't compute in my brain because there was a point when I thought you were slipping away, Hideo. Oh, you look so sad. Right back at you. What? She looks up, eyes searching Hideo's profile, and she finds darkness lurking within those orbs. A flurry of emotion flits across Hideo's face. Spacey waits for him to speak with bated breath. I feel like we're drifting apart. In the short time we didn't see each other, you became this lady who looks good in Western clothing. And then there was the talk about you getting married. I know your family's in a lot of trouble right now, but you're standing on your own 2 feet without relying on anyone. You tell me you want to run away, but your eyes are hopeful, looking ahead at the future. Dale, you're strong, okay? Oh, you are strong, okay? And that's more like statement fact, anyway. And if I've come across as cold and blunt toward you, well, I was just being stubborn. Because I thought you didn't need me anymore. I'll always, sweetie, don't leave me. Macy feels her eyes widen. Hideo's never been so open about his feelings in front of her before. Ever since they started drifting apart, she felt like there was always a rift between them. A thick wall that separated them because he loves you. Those invisible partitions are no more. They've disappeared so quickly, too. Perhaps it's the surprise that causes Spacey to watch him in silent wonder. Sensing her eyes on him, Hideo whips his head up and locks eyes with her. Oh, now he's blushing! Just forget I said anything. Why? Because that was a weird thing to say. I swear I had no idea what came over me. I don't think it's weird, Hideo. You let me know about your feelings, and you've never done it for me before. Said anything about feelings. You just did. Aww. The CG is good. There's like 500 versions of it. I thought you hated me, Hideo. I don't hate you. No, I know for sure now. But you pushed me away, and then you suddenly got engaged. Just like you, I thought you didn't need me anymore, Hideo. Spacey. Both of them are silent as they stare at each other. She can't remember the last time she looked at Hideo in the eyes. He's grown taller. His days of training in the military have shaped his physique, too. But the slightly nervous look on his face, the naivety in his eyes, those things about him haven't changed a bit. Still the same Hideo from her childhood memories. Right now, they're the only ones reflected in each other's eyes. So romantic. But it's only for this moment. There's so many things that they have to consider in their lives right now. They can't focus only on each other. Yes, they can! That's the angst right there. Like, oh, but they should be able to. They're no longer children. They can't spend time together and be ignorant about the circumstances around them. A lukewarm breeze passes through the streets of Ginza. How long have they stayed like this? We should probably head back. Oh, oh, yeah, you're right. By the way, what did you want to talk to me about? Nothing, actually. Are you sure? You ran after me, so... I just... I saw you at the party and I didn't want to lose sight of you, so I ended up chasing after you. That's so fucking ridiculously adorable. Stop it. Oh, okay. Warmth blooms inside her chest. She never thought she'd feel so much joy just from getting the chance to listen to Hideo's casual and honest feelings. Lana decided to come to the party. She was curious about Hideo's fiancé, but what she wanted the most was a chance to talk with Hideo again. And since Hideo decided to attend the party, to leave his fiancé alone after she'd fainted in order to find Spacey, it'd be right for her to think that Hideo shared her sentiment. She's satisfied to know that although their bond was nearly severed, it looks like they've managed to prevent it. Is because we know damn well he's like, I could never love anyone else! Right, because you love us. Just fucking tell us. They might not be able to make time for one another, but she's grateful for the opportunity to talk with them and gauge how they feel about each other. Welcome back, my lady. Hideo walks Spacey back to the manor. Once she's inside, Fujita greets her. Thank you, Fujita. Where's my brother? He's gone to the usual place. He what? Those words burst Spacey's bubble of happiness with Hideo. In that instant, something cold and dark creeps up to dwell in her chest. She's had enough of her brother's wanton lifestyle. How can he keep doing this when their mother's battling illness? Something akin to concern, or perhaps pity, passes over Fujita's otherwise expressionless face as he stares at Spacey. However, he told me that he'll be back soon tonight. Did he now? Huh. I think I'm going to bed early. Yes, my lady. I don't want to see my brother's face right now. I'm going straight to my room to sleep, so please don't bother waking me up when he returns. Very well. Does Fujita usually wake you up when your brother shows up? Macy nearly stomps to her room in large strides, disgust and indignation welling up in her chest with every step she takes. Hideo said he'd probably grow desperate and become like Mizuhito if his household were stuck in a bad situation like hers, but she begs to differ. Good God, these sentences are so long. Her brother's practically ill. The straight-laced Hideo would never resort to liquor and women for comfort and sense of duty aside, much less when her mother is bedridden. Hideo, not strong at all. Just trying to be strong. I have to be because no one will help me up if I fall. Hideo will. She has no one she can rely on, and it's making her anxious. Macy closes her eyes, seeing images of her father on the back of her eyelids, bites down on her lower lip. Just like when our mom, has her freak out. Yep, in the middle of that night, yep, this is it. And then our mom basically dies. And we look for the flower's name itself, so this is the same thing. The name Bellflower. Sound of the door in the entry hall being opened reaches her ears. Guest? Who is it? She finds herself straining her ears, and eventually she hears a soft rapping on the door to the parlor. Obviously Hideo. My lady, do you have a moment? Yes. Do we have a guest? We do. The young master of the Ozaki family is here. I see. Let him in. Very well, my lady. She can hear Fujita walking away behind the closed door. Spacey lets out a sigh and leans back against the couch. Hideo, it's here again today. Her chest feels slightly warm. Hideo's been frequently visiting the Nomiya family manor ever since Shigeko passed away to check up on Spacey. There are only a handful of people who are still interested in setting foot in a manor owned by a crumbling household that seems to be cursed with misfortune. Frankly, Hideo's persistent visits are a source of comfort for Spacey. He's like a breath of fresh air in the otherwise gloomy manor, and she finds herself relying on his existence to cope with the household's dire situation. Hey, Spacey. Welcome. Did you go home first before coming here today? I did. I got off work earlier than usual, so... Although Hideo usually wears his military uniform, he's clad in plainclothes today, and Spacey didn't expect to see him in casual attire. Normally he stops by the Nomiya family manor on his way back from work. Probably why most of the time he only stays for a couple of minutes to see her before going home. However, today he sits across from Spacey on the couch. He doesn't particularly look like he's in a hurry. Something decidedly different about him today. Well, save for the look on his face. Hideo glances over at Spacey with the usual deadpan expression. So, how are you? No different than usual. I'm okay. Where's Mizuhito? I don't know. He left the manor last night and hasn't been back since. Even that's no different than usual, huh? Theo scoffs, making no attempt to hide his disdain. Spacey offers him a weak, weary smile without reproaching him for his blatant sarcasm. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that she's conversed with this childhood friend of hers more often than with her brother lately. So, Spacey, what is it? Hideo clears his throat and sits up straighter. Do you want to leave the manor? What? It's been almost a month. You need some fresh air. I don't think staying cooped up in here will do your mind any good. I seriously thought for a hot second. I'm not gonna lie. My brain went, do you mean run away? Because yes, but you probably mean to take me outside for like a stroll or some shit. But not lie. Do you want to leave the manor? Yes, I want to run away. You mean just go for a walk? Sure, okay. Just the way he sat up straighter and was like, okay, do you want to leave the manor? Yes! Oh, I mean, also yes. This is the first time Hideo suggested anything to her. The offer reminds her of a similar invitation from Shiba back when she was still taking care of her ill mother. Shiba's apparently in Shanghai for work. One of his subordinates stopped by the manor to greet her once, but the man himself hasn't been visiting. If that aggressive man were in Japan, he probably would have dragged Spacey off somewhere by now. But the fact is, right now she has no one to invite her out. Her distant relatives remain distant, preferring to watch the household from afar. Oh, sorry, I don't know why I thought that was gonna, have an extra, thing, and so I clicked too fast. You know, sometimes the text goes off the screen, you have to click it to move it up. I don't know why that one went right to the edge, so I was thinking there was, something right after it. Fine, we read the whole thing, but it was just really abrupt and weird if you're, reading along or watching. And now her childhood friend Hideo, from whom she once drifted apart, is offering to take her out. He's never done this for her before, and she's too shocked to form a response. But Hideo seems to be interpreting her silence the wrong way, judging from the way his eyebrows scrunch and his defeated sigh. Yeah, I should have known you wouldn't want to. Huh? No, it's not that at all. It's just a little surprised. Surprised? Why? Well, you've never invited me anywhere, ever. So I didn't think you'd want to go somewhere with me, Hideo. There's nothing more to it. No special meaning. Just so we're clear, I simply noticed you've been staying home for days, and I like how he's just trying to cover his ass. Hideo trails off, and his eyes widen as if he's just thought of something. Right. I know. Birds. Birds? I'm into it! I have this sudden urge to see birds. Right now. And you're coming with me, Spacey. Again, you're hot, you have glasses, you're a little standoffish and a little cold. So I'm into that, and you want to go see birds. I mean, take me now. Let's run away to the bird sanctuary together forever. If I didn't love you for the fact that your glasses, and I was like, this one, glasses, into it, and now you're like, bird. I mean, we knew that from reading the review or whatever, but I'm just saying I'm sold. I was sold before, but this is double sold, 10% discount sold on me, I'm cheaper if you like birds too. What's gotten into you? Birds visit the garden all the time. Should we move to the garden? No, I'm talking about birds in a zoo. Come on, let's go to Ueno Zoo. Seriously? Right now? If she's honest with herself, going to the zoo sounds exhausting. But Spacey's not so insensitive that she can flat out deny Hideo's attempt at being considerate. His awkward way of inviting her is so adorable it warms her heart, I know, right? And she clearly doesn't have it in her to refuse his invitation. Fine, I'll come with you. I did think it was about time for me to go outside and get some fresh air. The timing couldn't have been better then. Hideo rarely smiles, and yet his lips are now curved upwards and the relief is clear in his eyes. A glimpse of his honest reaction elicits a smile from Spacey as well. The invitation might have been abrupt and offered in a clumsy manner, but it's so like Hideo. It's filled to the brim with his gentleness and care. Spacey leaves the manor for the first time in a long while. She lets Hideo take her to Ueno Zoo. Because it's a weekday, there aren't all that many people about. It's relatively quiet and comfortable.
This isn't your first time here, right?
No, I must have come here when I was little, but I don't remember much.
I see. And to be honest, I like this zoo. I always come here when I'm tired, sometimes more than once a week.
I think I can relate. Walking in a lush park is nice, but there's something about looking at animals that just energizes you. Spacey's fondness for animals may not be as deep as Hideo's, but she does adore them. It's my favorite, but something about animals energizes you. Unless you own birds, then every once in a while it's just exhausting. As I said, I own birds, and my bird downstairs chirps to me. Hi! I know I love you, but I'm upstairs, so I'll be down soon. He didn't come upstairs with me, so like any minute now he's gonna start screaming. But it's exhausting because you're like, oh god, can I just be by myself for once? Because like you literally walk out, like I can't walk into the kitchen. He follows me, and I don't think it's because I have food. It's because I'm not in his eyesight because there's like the stairwell like there, and so he's like, I can't see you. You might be dying. Like, so you go upstairs for 2 seconds, and he's chirping down here, calling like, are you okay? Did you die? Are you all right? Like a human can't figure shit out. Like I know, just birds flock calling. He thinks I'm gonna get lost. And like, again, you walk around the corner to go to the bathroom and then he's like calling to you like, hey, oh my god, are you, like, I'm just going pee, birds. So birds can be exhausting, okay? He's capable of flying around the corner and coming into the bathroom. He knows how to navigate around the house. He does not know how to fly upstairs yet. He's made it to the halfway point. Like if I'm on the landing and I start walking because like my stairs go up, there's a landing and then they turn and go up again, you know what I mean? So, like, if I'm on the land and, like, starting to go up the second half of the flight of stairs, he can fly up and he's gotten there. Because he thinks I'm right around the corner, but he has not managed to, like, come around the wall and fly up, completely up the stairs. Down can do it. Up can't. So, like, and it's not even like, well, you can land in the windowsill and then fly up because the windowsill is too close to the outside world and he's terrified by that. Which is good, because then he won't go outside. Also, he sees the sun and he freaks the fuck out. He's like, the fuck is that? So... he's not an outside world bird, which is probably why he won't wear his harness. He always acts like it's gonna rip his feathers out when he sees it. He freaks the hell out. He's like spazzing, flying everywhere, and I'm like, I've tried like, okay, leaving it out for him to see it, and like a new toy, you know, like okay, eventually they get used to it, and then they'll play with it. But terrified. If I put that on the couch, he will never come to the couch again, never, because he knows nope. And I'm like, and I think it's because he either hates the color red, I don't know, or he literally sees it and knows this puts on my body, so we go outside, and I don't want to do that because I hate outside. Saying. Which, again, is good, because outside is dangerous for him, and it's probably because I tell him that, so he's got it in his little bird brain. Anyway, birds are exhausting. I love mine to death, but they can be exhausting, so... Every few steps, they come across unique animals that they don't encounter in their daily life, and she gets excited. Wow, Hideo, look! It's a tiger! A living tiger! I would hope you don't see that in your daily life. Could you imagine how terrifying that is? Like, fuck!
I didn't know you liked tigers so much.
My interest in them grew significantly when I saw the taxidermy tigers at Lady Kyoko's dinner party.
Ugh, and don't remind me of that horrendous dinner party.
The stuffed ones are bigger than this guy, but I still think a living tiger is more majestic.
You want to see big animals? There's one right there.
Hideo leads Spacey through the zoo, knowing where everything is like the back of his hand. I love the fact that he just comes to the zoo. She supposes it's a product of his frequent trips. Eventually, they stop in front of the hippopotamus pen. Wow! Look at the size of its mouth! It's massive! Me, when I'm eating pizza.
Hippos look harmless, but they're actually very fierce. A hippo is more difficult to capture than a tiger or an elephant.
Aren't hippos actually one of the most deadly animals? Because, like, you just think they're so docile and cute, but they're, like, they can trample the fuck out of you and, like, you know what I mean? Aren't they, like, they look cute and harmless, deadly. It's kind of like pandas. They look cute and, no, they're actually deadly to themselves. They're kind of idiots. I don't know. I don't think pandas are basically... Pandas can't survive on their own. They're too stupid. They're cute and adorable, but they're kind of stupid. I know that, like zoos are not necessarily like the best things, but like I kind of don't think pandas would have been existing in the wild anymore. I think they would have made themselves extinct a while ago because they're not the brightest things, aren't they? They're cute though. Big furry balls of stupid. Also, I mean, like, unless you go to Australia, when are you ever going to see a platypus? I still love platypuses, platypi, whatever. I refer, do you pluralize that when I was a kid? And I remember doing a report on them in, like, elementary school, and people didn't think they were real. Because, like, have you seen one? They look stupid as shit. That's, like, the dumbest looking animal in existence. It is literally like the spare parts bin. Like, the universe was like, we got a bunch of, just throw fucking together, like someone was making animals and they put together this weird thing and it's like a little, like a kindergartner's art project. Where you're like, oh, it's Hideo hanging on the wall, sweetie. Like, and the universe was like, alright, I guess. We gotta take Junior's art project. Alright, we just told him we can make an animal and he made this stupid thing. But they're cute as shit. But they're so bafflingly weird. It's like nature's joke. Like, but I still love them. Anyway. What? But they're herbivores, right?
And they are, but they can be quite territorial. Male hippos often die in a fight over territory. Females are just as violent too. I heard child-rearing females are even more dangerous than males.
You're so knowledgeable, Hideo. I'm impressed.
I like all kinds of animals, not just birds.
Yeah, but let's get to the birds. Let's get to the bird nerding. Okay, I need a bird nerd right now.
Wait, the birds! I forgot about them. Come on, we'll check out the ostrich cage next.
Hey, calm down! We don't have to hurry. They aren't going to run away.
I don't know about that. Ostriches are fast runners. Not as fast as you, though.
Look at the joy on his face right now. I love this. The joy on your bird nerd face. I'm here for it. I don't run that fast. Sheesh. Maisie's pretty sure that Hideo took her to the zoo to cheer her up, but now he's clearly enjoying himself. The sight of him with such a bounce in his step reminds her of those days when they were close and would play together. The memories are nice and just a little bit embarrassing. Oh, they're going to play together later, too. Don't get me wrong. This is going to be a different kind of playing. The second they arrive at the front of the ostrich cage, Hideo's eyes twinkle. It's clear that he's an avid fan of birds. All birds. But what made Hideo so fond of them? Sometimes you just can't help yourself. It's natural. Some people are cat people. Some people are dog people. And again, like the little thing says, the little adage says, if there's one thing that cat people and dog people can agree on, it's that bird people are weird. And we are. Absolutely. Oh, look, he's bird nerding and I'm into it. Look, there's a bird behind him. I love the bird nerd, CG. Look how joyous and happy he is. I get it. I'm here for this. Is it just me or are ostriches so big they don't even look like birds?
I think by far the ostrich is the biggest among the avians that humanity has discovered. An ostrich's legs are so powerful, a kick from it might kill you.
What? I'll keep that in mind, but that only makes me more convinced that ostriches aren't birds. I mean, they can't even fly. Neither can penguins.
Ostriches aren't the only ones that are flightless. There are other species that have lost their ability through evolution.
Like chickens?
What? No, chickens can fly, but because we raise them as livestock, there's barely any need. They do fly in the wild.
They fly as livestock too, they just kind of hover on the ground. Like little hover chickens.
They do?
I never would have guessed.
The real flightless birds are the species whose wings have evolved as a result of their environment. Still, I think the one bred as livestock or to be admired eventually won't be able to fly.
Bred to be admired?
Oh. Onagadori? And take the Onagadori rooster, for instance. It's a breed of chicken with a long tail, which is a result of a mutation.
There are, like, fancy parakeets? Is that what they are? No, there's normal. But there's some kind of, like, parakeets that are, like, literally their feathers are just so huge and long and crazy. They just, like, don't even look like birds. They look like little feather balls. And I don't think they're fancy parakeets, because I think those are normal. There's some type of parakeet. I forget what they're called. Because I thought fancy parakeet, when you look at them, you're like, it looks like a normal parakeet. But they have these big, curvy, floofy tail, like their feathers, every bit of their feather. And you're just like, that is just, it literally looks like you got a feather boa, wrapped it in a ball, and you're like, there you go, it's a bird. It's just, you're ridiculous. But they're pretty. But it's kind of sad because I don't think they can really fly either.
Some people agree that the longer the tail is, the better, so they keep these chickens in small boxes so they can't damage their own tails, so that they can't move.
That's horrible. But to have wings and not be able to fly, I feel sorry for them. Now, it's more like to be stuck in a tiny little box. Maybe they don't want to fly, but like to be stuffed in a box. Then again, like, look at the peacock. Can peacocks fly?
I wouldn't be so sure. Who knows how the chickens themselves feel about it? I do think that both natural and artificially selected beauties are nice to look at, but I personally think those that live in the wild are the most beautiful. So much so that I want to see a wild ostrich running across a plain once in my life.
I love this bird nerd. Birds that can't fly because humans refuse to let them. Although her pity for them might be an extension of her condescending nature as a human, Daisy still thinks that she likes the ones who can fly better. Birds kept inside small boxes are bound with countless fetters. They can't move freely, and they remind her of herself. She has people tell her what to do, what to think, fit inside a mold because she looks more beautiful that way. Frankly, being on the receiving end of these treatments suffocates her. Still, I know there are certain things I can't possibly achieve out of my own sheer will. There must be things I need to let go. Give up. Well, do not let go or give up, Hideo. The two of them stay in the zoo even after that, walking around until they're both exhausted. Hideo offers her a long explanation each time they stop in front of a cage without her having to ask him for it.
I'm kind of hungry. Do you want to get eel for dinner?
Huh? But. Sorry. Do you want to get for eel for dinner? I saw that! But my brain read it right, but my eyes were like, excuse me, Tim, Ronald, the fuck? Done a great job so far, but just keep an eye on your shit, boys.
And don't worry, I told your butler that we'd be back after dinner.
What? But still,
you don't have to overanalyze it. I just want to eat something, so I'm going to eat. And you're just going to accompany me. Are we good?
Thank you, Hideo. Hideo is kind. That fact makes her happy. Sure, their relationship hasn't always been this warm. Once so cold. But he's actually a gentle person by nature. Because he loves you. I'm sorry. Because he loves you! Today, she was able to reunite with Hideo, who cares about her, and she wouldn't trade this reunion for anything else. With the Hideo, who cares about, sorry. But that also poses a problem, filling her chest with complicated feelings. A small part of her warns her not to depend on his kindness. Continues to criticize another part of her that's giddy with joy as she continues to walk at his side. It's been ages since she's walked this much in the sunlight. Hideo escorted her home, and she decided to take a bath. She washes away the sweat of the day using the hot water while feeling pleasantly tired. She then goes to the dining hall to drink some hot water before bed and runs into Mizuhito. Hot water. Ugh. Like hot bean water, hot leaf water, sure, tea, coffee, whatever, but it's just like hot water. Ugh. So gross. How has it been since she last saw him? She's resigned herself to not even counting the days. Hey, Spacey, you're back. Welcome home, brother. I heard Hideo took you out today. Yes, we went to Ueno Zoo. Ueno Zoo, huh? That's so Hideo. Mizuhito chuckles and sits on the chair in front of Spacey. He smells faintly of liquor. It's a smell that Spacey will most likely never find wafting from Hideo, and her heart aches at that comparison. So how was the zoo? Did you have fun? Yes, a lot actually. Hideo told me he'd been there countless times, and he did seem like he knows everything about the animals there. It was astonishing. Really? He goes to the zoo that often? I must say he's kind of different. He's a grown-up man, but he isn't even interested in liquor or women. And he goes to the zoo as often as a child does. Look, maybe I like that childlike innocence. Alright? I like my glasses, bird nerd. You shut up, whore. Don't worry, I'll romance you next. It's fine. No, don't you yell. Don't you be bad bird. So? I don't see anything wrong with that. Age has nothing to do with a person's love for animals. He's loved them since he was a child. Get yourself, brother, Spacey almost adds, but she stops herself before the words can fly from her lips. She can't pinpoint the exact reason, but right now she's feeling extremely hostile toward Mizuhito. The emotion's so potent that she's beginning to feel that this conversation she's having with him is going to reduce the bliss she feels from her time spent with Hideo into nothing. Spacey can't have that. She refuses to let the bitter emotion take over her, so she stands up from her seat. I'm going to bed. Good night, brother. Yeah, good night. Her brother's voice sounds distant in her ears, like a flickering candle in the darkness. A flightless bird. Beautiful bird. Macy supposes she isn't the only flightless bird in this family. Her uninhibited brother is too. She isn't sure how to feel about that. Why do I think my brother is just as chained as I am when he listens to no one and does whatever he pleases? Because they actually probably chain him in that secret club. Then that's how he's trying to make money to, pay off his own debts and shit. I'm just throwing it out there that I feel like that's still happening here. There isn't a truly free person in this world. Everyone lives while dragging their own personal shackles, including her brother and the other people who look like they've mastered the art of living in freedom. Her brother chooses to drown himself in liquor and women. He's so dependent on them that he might as well die without them. In that sense, they're the shackles locked around her brother's ankles. My own share of chains, too. Heavy ones that I can't break with my own strength. Hideo told her, albeit once, that he would run away with her. He was, still is, her one and only savior, but soon he'll lose the wings that would have allowed him to carry Spacey away. She must not depend on Hideo too much. She knows that much, but she's still looking forward to her next meeting with him anyway, and it's a fact that she needs to admit. Oh. A few days after their little trip to the zoo, when Hideo comes to visit again, Spacey can hear the loud pounding of her own joyous heart. Hey. He comes into the parlor. The military uniform he's wearing is a telltale sign that he wasn't able to finish work early today. Hideo, welcome. Thank you for the other day. The military uniform he wears, that looks like his normal everyday outfit, so maybe you could have put him in the right one, game. Just saying. Pick the right sprite.
Stop it. I haven't done anything that deserves your gratitude.
I had fun thanks to you. So yes, I think you have done something deserving of my gratitude.
You think so? Fine.
And I'm blushing.
By the way, I got a couple of opera tickets from an acquaintance.
Opera tickets? From the one in Asakusa?
That's right. So I was thinking of becoming your distraction again. What do you say?
Throwing an awful lot of dates. Asakusa is one of the best entertainment districts in Tokyo. It's where theaters, exhibitions, opera houses, and throngs of people gather. Not only that, Asakusa is where the Hanayashiki, okay. Where the Hanayashiki amusement park and the Asakusa Junakai Tower are located. A short walk from those places and one will eventually reach the red light district, Yoshiwara. In a nutshell, Asakusa is a bustling place where people come to satisfy virtually all of their needs. And an area as seedy as that is by no means a place that Hideo likes. He hates crowded places. In fact, on the night of the evening party, he was reluctant to enter the manor through the parlor because it was full of people. And yet, here he is, offering Spacey a small trip to Asakusa. He's clearly doing this for her. Thank you for asking me to go out again.
So, you're coming with me?
Yes, I'll gladly accompany you.
Okay, that's great. I mean, great because I won't have to throw away these tickets.
Hideo smiles, and Spacey too feels the pull of a smile on her cheeks. It's funny because you have a fiance that you could take, but let's not talk about that. I'm just throwing it out there that he's like, I'd have to throw away these tickets. Obviously, you're in love with us and not your fiance. Perfect. However, she finds that she still can't be genuinely happy about Hideo's invitation. He has a fiance, and I'm sure his acquaintance didn't give him those tickets so that he can go to the opera with another woman. Should she even accept the offer and wedge herself in between Hideo and his fiance? Yes. She's grateful that he's treating her nicely now, which is a huge contrast to the cold shoulder he gave her before. Something still doesn't sit right with her. She isn't the woman who should be next to him right now. Shut up! Let him make his own choices! That's us! The words echo in her heart, coming from a place she can't put a finger on, and it makes her feel restless. Even though they're childhood friends, they're still a man and a woman in the eyes of society. She feels guilty for going out so frequently with him, walking side by side like lovers.
We should probably go now before it gets dark.
Yes, of course.
Have you eaten dinner yet?
Certainly not. The sun hasn't even set yet, Hideo. What about you?
I haven't had dinner either. Maybe we should eat something after watching the opera.
That sounds good, but can we not eat anything too heavy? I haven't had much of an appetite lately.
Got it. First things first, we better leave now.
Hideo stands up, and it's a signal for her to follow. Very reluctantly, Spacey gets up from her seat and follows him. Dun dun. Woo! We're almost at time, but I'm going to stop here. We were a little over last time. We'll go a little under this time. And this way we can enjoy our date with Hideo. Woo! In the next part. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.